Isa, my name is Tobias, and today I'm going to be checking out I God by XLOV. Now, I've already checked out Serve, so if you want to check out my reaction to that, you can find it on my channel. I am so sorry that I did not get to this during Pride Month, but we're going to listen to the 4 songs that are there, plus the intro. I believe it's an instrumental because there was no lyrics on it. Now, just to give you a heads up, because this is probably going to be a long video, I'm going to listen to the song on Spotify because we support the artists. Then I'll read the lyrics, then we're going to re-listen to the song. Okay? So let's just get started. Okay? We're going to get started with a song called The Rules. It's about 1 minute and 30, so I think it's setting the scene. Oh. I'm loving the violin. Oh. Oh. Jazzy. I feel like I'm like in New Orleans. And how's it gonna flow into Serve? Okay, interesting. I mean, we're not gonna listen to that twice because I think it's sort of an intro to the album. I'm interested. I wouldn't skip this if I'm listening to the album. In fact, this is like a song that I might add to the my focus playlist or just like jazzy feel good type playlist. I like it. I'm wondering if there's some maybe like concept trailer related with this song because I know that there's chess involved in this concept. So maybe the concept trailer would kind of explain Chez's rules, maybe. But I like it. It's giving jazzy vibes. It's funny because Serve is not necessarily jazzy, but I like it. So the next song is Extancy by Wumuti&Rui. Y'all, I did not know what this word meant, and it is an obsolete word, so don't blame me for not knowing it. But I looked it up. It is the state of being still in existence, or the physical state of rising up, or standing out above others. Okay, I see where we're going. Okay, take us away. It sounds like Hilary Duff. You know that song? Savannah said a single word. All you wanted. Come on, this and set me free. Lights on, baby. And I feel I don't know what the song is called. Oh my god, I'm sorry. But Hilary Duff is a queen in my house. Was that Wumuti? Oh! Yes, Queen. Oh, I love their voice. Flash in the dark. Flash. Oh my god, the sequence and the structure and the narrative of the song is so similar to Serve. My takeaway, and I'll have to read the lyrics, but that we flash in the dark, right? Which have very similar themes as Serve. But oh my god, first impression, their voices. It's giving like 2000s pop girl, like the whisper. Oh. Oh. They're everywhere. Oh, we're getting an outro. Jesus fucking Christ. This is my favorite song so far. It beats Sub. It beats Sub. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And before I even say anything, and this might be too much information, but I got back at 6 a.m. last night because I had to go to the ER for some heart issues. We don't have to talk about that. But the fact that I am dancing, bopping my head, raising my heart rate is dangerous. It's dangerous. This is what they're doing. This sounds so Madonna-esque, so like Kylie Minogue-esque, this like type of pop sultry dance in the beat. I'm loving it. I'm loving. Then we flash in the dark. Like I'm imagining myself in like the nightclub and I'm just like all the lights are shining and you're dancing. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like the lyrics are going to be exactly that, right? And dark could mean multiple things, right? Being in the closet. We flash, we shine bright, even though we might not be out. It could also mean, right? We flash when there isn't anything else lighting. Like, I want to decipher the lyrics because I feel like there's so many possible opportunities to kind of decipher the meaning of the song in different ways. So let's jump into it, shall we? Okay, so Wumuti says, with the most ethereal, whispery voice, I know my worth. I own my world. Watch how I let it all unfold, spreading like a mist. And I love it, right? We start off the song by saying, I know exactly my value. Whatever you tell me, I don't care because I know my value. I know what I am worth. And I love that I own my world, right? Because it's not trying to gain an ownership. Own is such a economical term, right? You own an asset, you own a house. They're saying, I own my life. I own my understanding of the world that I am putting together. Watch how I let it all unfold. Like they're in control. They're letting it. And we don't know what the it is yet, but they're letting it unfold, spreading like a mist. Maybe we're talking about their worth. Maybe we're talking about maybe the light. Because I know in the chorus, right, I flash in the dark, right? Like I let this light exude me and shine bright. And something that I like think about when I'm listening in the context of XLOV, and I don't know if anyone else does this, but I always look at it from a queer lens. And maybe that's like me being biased or just me feeling that connection with them. But there are queer people who are the light of day, people that you can listen to, that you can, like, I'm thinking of personal friends of mine who I just like, they're a light in the day. No matter how awful their life is, they're always smiling, they're always bringing forward community, kindness above everything. They value this like positive energy that they give to other people, and that's kind of what I am assuming that Umuchi might be talking about here. Okay, so the next line is Rui, and correct me, always correct me if I mispronounce any of these members' names. I think it's Rui, but let me know. But they say, "Wear my crown washed in white." Wear my crown washed in white. Okay, I have to sit on this one because what are we talking about? Wearing my crown. So crown, I'm immediately thinking royalty, something earned, something not earned necessarily, but something accomplished, something that gives you an honor. Like I do think earned is maybe the right term here. So we have this prestigious thing that Rui is choosing to wear sort of openly. They're not putting on the crown, they're wearing it as like a statement, but washed in white, washed in white, washed in white, white, washed in white, like maybe it's talking about what's clicking in my mind, and I'm not going to make sense here because my thoughts are never very clear, but a crown is very heavy burdened with history, hardship, accomplishments. Like when you see someone with a crown, right? Think about a first place winner, right? They had to endure a lot to get that crown. Washing in white to me almost means like starting from scratch or like purifying it. Like I'm thinking of washing an old steel tool in white. Essentially means that you remove all that dust, all that rust, and it becomes this purified. White doesn't mean white as the color necessarily. I just think like clean, like you're almost starting from scratch. So they're saying, I'm wearing this crown on my head, but the crown does not necessarily represent hard earned accomplishments. It reflects the comfort and the new beginnings. Like there is that dichotomy, and it's not clicking in my head yet, the connection. But maybe what Rui is saying is, I'm gonna wear, and there's a vulnerability to it too, right? Because if you clean something, think about a white couch, right? Any little stain that is gonna come on it is gonna be visible immediately. So there's that vulnerability aspect to it as well. So maybe at the end, Rui is just saying, I'm gonna wear this crown proudly. It doesn't necessarily represent only the accomplishments and the establishment that I have been able to achieve, but it also represents these new beginning and this purity that I had to endure to maybe to come terms with. And I'm thinking of the Extancy, like the name of the song, right? Of like to become someone new. Like they had to, and this happens a lot for queer people, right? Where you kind of, when you come out, you kind of are born again. You kind of become a new person because you morph into who you truly would be had you been comfortable enough to be out your whole life. Maybe that's what they're saying, or maybe I'm just stretching this 2 sentence line way too much. Okay, so this is the chorus, and this is the part that I remember. So it's, we flash in the dark, we flash in the dark, just a fleeting moment, just a flaring star. We flash in the dark, yeah, we flash in the, and they don't tell us the last. So I like it. Let's go line by line here because I feel like it's saying a lot more. And I might have to go back to the, if it was the pre-chorus with the I wear the crown washed in white, but we flash in the dark. So a flash is this, right? whoosh, whoosh. Like it's not a light that's shining in the dark. It's like very instantaneous. It's not permanent. It's something that happens because it's dark, right? Because you can't flash in the light because then it's just invisible, like you don't see the flash. So they're saying we flash not despite the darkness, but we flash because of the darkness. And maybe when I'm thinking back of the crown and the whiteness or washing in white, like I think maybe what they're saying, right, is that we are able to find this light because of the darkness that we're in and that sort of situation, painful situation that we had to endure. That's why we're flashing. And it's not permanent. And that's like where I'm struggling to make sense of it, right? Because they're not saying we're lighting in the dark. They're this like temporary moment. But a crown to me is permanent. So there's that dichotomy, right, of it being or them being, and the crown was I and now it's we, right? So there's also a change in pronouns. Just a fleeting moment, just a flaring star. So we compound or like we add on the just, right? It's not just one just, it's two just. What's a flaring star? Let me look it up. A star that burns brighter than its baseline, that exceeds its own normal luminosity in a sudden surge. They're often doing it because something is ending the star. And I kind of like them both together, right? A fleeting moment is that impermanence again, like talking about the flash in the dark. Like that's also that impermanence that I've been talking about. But a flaring star, like it's such a visceral image in my head now that I know what it is, of this intensity of brightness, like, and what is ending, we're not sure, but I could assume that it's some of that purification that Rui had to endure when they washed it in white, right? Like to me that might even be interpreted more as I had to come to terms with my fears, my struggles, my pain, my trauma in order to wear this crown comfortably and flash in the dark. And because of that, I had to intensify this light inside of me. And the ending is that struggle. And now I'm going to move on to become existing again as a physical being. Am I even close to hitting the dart here? And Extancy, this is Extancy. I think that kind of combines everything we've been talking about up until this point, right? Like they're saying all of this struggle that I had to realize, come through, acknowledge, come to terms with is causing me to create this light, this new existence within myself. It essentially allowing me to accept who I am, become who I am, and be gay, be queer, be whoever you want to be. So the second verse is, "Ooh, señorita, long live my life." And this is in Spanish. Viva la vida mia. Potentially. A fantasia, I believe that's also in Spanish, that feels like I've felt it somewhere before. A captivating aura, the mirror world forever out of reach, catwalking above the place where flowers bloom. Okay, so I need to take this verse one line by line because I didn't pick up anything. But I actually, and I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that XLOV have mentioned that they don't really mind what pronouns are used to refer to any of the members. This specific verse, to me, I would like to use she, her, I think, because señorita, to me, almost they're talking to themselves. Like they're talking, Wumuti is talking to herself, right? She's saying, "Oh," and señorita, I'm assuming it's a friend, it's a dear, and it's feminine, right? It's the A, it's not the O, at least from my limited knowledge of Spanish. And I love the "long live my life." It goes back to the first verse, right, where it's like, "I know my worth, I know my value, so long live my life." It's like I love this existence that I'm in. And I'm assuming that fantasia means fantasy. So a fantasy that feels like I've felt it somewhere before. Few things that already sticking out here. the fact that they choose to keep Fantasia in Spanish rather than Korean or even English kind of emphasizes the fact that it's something undefined that they haven't experienced before, right? And it takes the context of language and makes it like even further separated from what it is. The thing that I am thinking about the most here, and let me know if anyone can relate to this, or this might just be me being a dreamer, but when I was younger, I grew up in a very conservative area of the world. I think it wasn't even that people were homophobic because not a single homosexual or queer person was there. It was so far gone, but I used to imagine. I used to go on long walks in the forest where I would pretend that I lived in a world in different shades of colors, if that makes sense. Like I would imagine myself with a lover who was a man. I would imagine myself with accepting parents and this sort of dream world of acceptance that I wanted. And when I came out to friends later on in my life and I experienced that love, it's almost like deja vu, right? Where you're like, I feel like I've experienced this thing before, but I haven't. This is my first time experiencing it. But I think it was that fantasy and that imagination that I had as a kid that it's like now I'm finally experienced not the the exact thing, but aspects of that really makes it feels like I've been there before. Maybe that's what Rui is saying. I'm not sure if that's what she's trying to convey. That's what I am interpreting in like the lens of my own life. A captivating aura that mirror world forever out of reach. The mirror world. I don't know if there's a specific idiom connected to the mirror world, but I'm thinking when I am standing in front of a mirror, or if I'm looking at myself in the camera right now, I can see myself. I'm talking, hello, 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 but it feels like me and someone else at the same time, right? And the person that's in that mirror here is me, but also someone else who I can never really become. And I think sometimes when I'm brushing my teeth, the person that I see in the mirror is it has more nuances to my life than I probably have. Like I think maybe what both Rui and Umuti is saying is that that person I look in the mirror is sometimes someone that is perfect, that does everything right in the way that it's supposed to be, and it's something that I can never become. It's something I want to become, right? For example, so many queer people, so many trans people want to come out. They want to be authentically themselves to everybody. And when they look in that mirror, they're like, I know who I am. I know exactly who I am. But the world or the society or the community that they live in does not allow that. And I'm not talking about a parent not accepting them. I'm talking about death. Like it's so much deeper than just, and I think in the West we often forget how violent the West and other places in the world is when it comes to queer people. I mean, and I don't want to be sad and I don't want to share sad things, but every single trans friend of mine have opened up to me about their fears of, I mean, the average lifespan of a trans person. It is absolutely horrifying. And if you're watching this and you're in that bucket, I hope that you are loved by yourself. I hope you have people that love you gracefully. I hope you have people that love you as much as you deserve. And I promise you that you deserve to be loved. I hope that you have just one person, ideally more, but if you just have one person that truly, truly love who you are, that's like what I hope. But I think that's what they're trying to say here. They're trying to say that maybe the circumstances of my life doesn't allow me to be that person, that perfect, authentically me person. I have to be this person that I have. I have to hide certain things, not because I am not strong enough, but because, you know, you can never reach the mirror. No matter how close you get, it's always going to be a different world. Maybe that's what we're trying to say. Catwalking above the place where the flowers bloom. Catwalking above the place where flowers bloom. So we're not walking on the flowers. We're walking where they bloom. So like a garden, nature, forest. And a catwalk, right? I'm imagining like a stage, right? A stage, a higher stage than where the flowers are blooming. A catwalk is elegant, it's graceful. You're also visible, so maybe what Umuti is saying here is that she is choosing to walk with elegance and pride and confidence, despite knowing that there is a version of herself that could be more authentically better. But she chooses to embrace this thing that she is rather than what she could be. Maybe. Okay, so the bridge goes, and maybe we'll take it in parts again. Yeah, I'm rising in my waves, a voice blooming into being. I like it. I'm rising in my waves, right? So like waves that they created themselves. They're not just hopping on the waves, hopping on, you know, other people's created waves and surfing those. Like she's creating her own waves and rising active, right? It's not risen, it's not in the past, like it's still happening in this very moment that she's rising up on these waves that she herself has created. A voice blooming into being, and this goes back to the verse 2, right? The catwalk on things where the flowers bloom. A voice blooming to me is maybe a voice opening up, a voice being more honest with themselves and others, a mouth opening, just like that authenticity that comes from growing as a flower. But then we use in the next sentence some flowery symbolism. So let's see if I can pick that apart as well. Where the petals grow bold, even when I can't breathe, I glow. I like it. I don't know if I hear often petals being described as bold, right? Like usually petals are described as beautiful, delicate, feminine, like these type of characteristics. Bold is like it's a choice, it's deliberate. It feels intentional. It feels that she is choosing to become something of that regard, like bold. She's choosing to defy what might be prescribed to a petal and be more confident and deliberate in that boldness that she's describing. Girl, even when I can't breathe, I glow. That takes me back to the flash in the dark, right? Because we're not flashing despite the darkness, we're flashing in the darkness. And she's saying that when things are hard, she will light up. Oh, that's really cute. It makes me think about what these four members are going through behind the scenes and how, you know, even when they receive probably a lot of violence in all its aspects, they still have to glow and still have to shine and still have to put on a smile and still be there. Beautiful and cruel. Ooh. So it's the two things, right? The and plays so much here, right? Because it's not beautiful or cruel. It's not beautiful despite being cruel. It's like these two paradoxical characteristics of something beautiful and something cruel. Two blossoms divine. Maybe the two blossoms, the two flowers is Wumuti&Rui. Maybe that's the part here. Divine is such a good word to describe here. And like this immediately brings me back to the chessboard, right? And how we're talking about, and I don't know the chess pieces' names in English, okay? But the front piece that are all of them, where if you get it to the bottom, to the end of the other person's side, you get to morph it into one of the other characters, often being the queen. That becomes very evident in like this aspect of this song. Beautiful, I take control. Let the universe unfold. Oh, I kind of like it because you're taking control by letting it go, right? Like again, it's paradoxical, right? Like usually, well, taking control does not mean letting go, but she's saying, well, I am controlling it by letting it happen and letting it go and letting it be. So the outro is, you make it flash, make it rain. Oh, you and I just dance through the night. We burn the same, make it flash, just bring me in. I'll color you in. That's so sweet. And I don't know if you is Wumuti talking to Rui or Wumuti and Rui talking to us. I think it could be interpreted both ways, but I love that we burn the same, make it flash, just bring me in, I'll color you in. Oh. Okay, so fair warning, I did spend an hour on this song. This is crazy. Am I gonna spend 4 hours on these songs? This is crazy, but I love it. Let's listen to it again. I forgot the offbeat. Oh, yes, Rui, yes. Extancy. This is going on my playlist. Oh. It unfolds. We flash in the dark. Girls. I feel like I got like whiplash. Also, they said we flare the same at the end, which I think is really cute because it's like the community part, right? And how I think for a lot of queer people, sometimes you feel really alone and lonely and misunderstood. And I don't even think it's queerness only, it's like anyone who feels different in the community and the societies that they're in. I loved it. If that was not evident enough, I need to move on, y'all. So the next song is Back to Back. Now, I'm in my head, I am imagining two queens back to back. But what is this gonna be? Is that Haru? Shake, shake, shake. Oh, the vocals, the vocals. Okay, where am I going? Okay. Me too, girl. For a hot second, I thought this was about sex, but I don't think it is. But when I heard I take it back to back, I'm like, but I don't think so. Oh, he sounds so sexy, so good. I need to know. I need to know. I think that's Haru. But we need to see when we do the lyrics because he sounds so goddamn sexy. Maybe it's Hyun? Oh, I can't see. I'm not wearing my glasses. Ground. Guys, if this is the first time you're watching my channel, English is not my first language, and sometimes I get this thing I need to say, but I don't know the words, so I just go blah 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 blah. Okay, that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. This song is so goddamn sexy. This is one of a kind. We out of line, yeah, we always ready fine. Oh, whoa. Oh, I can, girl. Back to back, back to back, you back to back, back every day, every night and day, back to go to back to back, back to back, with every day, every now and yeah, back to back. Yo, this is my favorite. I know I said that about Extancy. This is my favorite. Oh my god, I need to know. I need to know what we're talking about. What the fuck? I literally need to, and I'm so sorry. I don't have a good voice when I sing, but sometimes you can't control yourself, and I'm reacting to it. But the vocals, the sexiness, the masculinity that it's exuded, it was so crisp, so god fucking damn, oh my god, Jesus Christ, this is one of the best songs of the year, what the fuck. Okay, so we're starting, and I have to correct myself, it was not Haru, it was Hyun. He sounds so goddamn sexy. And what are we saying in this song? What are we saying? So we're saying highlights pointing to the one way. Huh? Spotlights waits for the wave we make. We're already at the center of the scale, but the whole spinning whirl still shakes. So let's, you guys know the drill at this point, hopefully. Let's do it line by line, okay? Highlights pointing to the one way. So I'm thinking highlights, right? It's like these bright lights, the brightest light that exists. They're pointing to one way. Maybe we're talking about the exit. Like the exit is this way, but there's the spotlight that is, and the is like, I want to hear how he says it, because it could be right highlights pointing to the one way, huh? Or it can be like almost like casual, like sarcastical. We'll have to re-listen to that. But spotlight waits for the wave we make. Spotlight is the light that shines on the centerpiece of something. The play, the act, the celebrity, the thing that takes the audience the most, right? So the spotlight already knows what XLOV is gonna do, the wave. And the wave, I think, is, I guess, a signature move that they might have, or something that indicates that they're starting. We're already at the center of the scale. So I don't think it's like a food scale. Like, I'm thinking of those like Greek scales where you have like the two sides. Being in the center is like the fulcrum of it, like on the axis. You're like balancing it. So if you're standing in the middle, that means that both sides of the scale is balanced. So you're the balancing act of whatever it is that we're talking about right now. But then we say, but the whole world's spinning, but the whole spinning world still shakes, shakes, shakes. I want to shake, shake, shake. Okay, but so now I'm going back to the scale, right? So we have this balance in the middle, this stability, but they're almost saying, right, everything else around us is chaotic. It's unstable, but we are stable. We are center, we are balanced despite the instability of the world. In the next part, like a circle in stereo. A circle in stereo. A circle in stereo. So like, are we, here's kind of where I am. Like, this is my image in my head. I wish I could draw so I could show that to you guys. But I'm imagining the four members standing back to back, right? So you have one person here, 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 right? And, you know, think about different poses. Maybe they're, you know, being a little, you know, elegant, a little glamorous, right? So they're all standing back to back. They are being surrounded by the spotlight. So the spotlight is on them. It's dark all the way around, but the highlights are pointing outward, right? So I'm painting this picture. Now there is audio coming, because a stereo, right, that produces volume, it produces audio. So there's like a circle of audio coming towards them in all directions. And they're 360, no vertical. 360, no vertical. So like they're spinning to, I mean, it's maybe they're creating this, right? It's going to be impossible to adhere and impress this audio. Think about like Just Dance or like Guitar Hero, right? Where you have to make it really fast. They're capturing that 360. No vertical. What is vertical? I forget what vertigo is. Let me look it up. Vertigo is a specific type of dizziness characterized by the false sensation that you or your surroundings are spinning or moving. Okay, so the pre-chorus is Wumuti saying, "Come with me now." Okay, sir, I will come with you. It's very direct, very authoritative, very directional, right? Like, come with me now. We hold the ground. I don't know why now I'm in like a fighting scene, and I don't watch James Bond movies, but like I'm kind of imagining that like we're holding the ground, and again, the ground is that spot where they're rotating 360. They're not moving. They're, you know, hitting all the quests that they need to do, and they're standing the ground, right? They have occupied the space that they're in, whatever the ground means. Keep turning even without a word. We lock the axis in. Keep turning even without a word. We lock the axis in. I mean, the axis to me is the same, right? The axis is, imagine you have like a straight line down in the middle and you're turning. That's like what they're saying, right? We lock in, we're not moving. We don't, maybe the audio is hate, right? And they're saying, just like Taylor Swift said, you need to calm down. Why are you shouting at me? You're not even moving me. In fact, I'm laughing. But here they're saying, right, we're going to keep turning even without a word. So they're not fighting back. They're not, you know, being petty back. They're not like, oh, you're shouting at me, so I'm going to shout back. No, they're just standing their ground. They're holding the ground because they know the truth. And what's the truth? That they rock, that they're good, that they're authentically successful, that they are great people. Whatever it is, I love it. Okay, so the chorus is back to 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 back. right? And keep in mind, these are 4 backs, right? So we're creating that formation, right? And I'm kind of sensing, I don't think it's a sexual song as I was initially anticipating, which is fine. Not everything has to be sexual. But I'm kind of thinking that they're essentially saying, right, if you look this way, and I look this way, and the third person looks that way, and the fourth person looks that way, we don't have any blind spots. We will protect each other, right? And we're not going to get backstabbed because our backs are against each other, right? They're essentially saying, let's form this formation to protect each other and have each other's backs and ensure that nothing gets hurt, right? We do it every day, baby. Move with us. Oh, we roll like this. We slay it deeper. So they're moving, right? They're not standing still in this formation. Like they're actually moving forward. They're progressing while maintaining this formation of nobody can hurt us, babe, because we got each other. And I love it. We slay it deeper. Because slay means 2 things, right? Slay and slay, right? The first one is, I guess the word is a queer, what is the word in English? The colloquium? Did I get that right? It's a colloquial term that really means, right? Yeah, slay, slay, slay. But there's also slay as in, you know, hit it, kill it, beat it, slay the giant, right? So I think it does both things, right? It combines this femininity of the slay and the masculinity of the slay. And deeper, right? It's like, we're not gonna half-ass this protection and this fighting that we're doing. We're gonna go all in. It is 0 or 100, but in our case, it's 125. You get what I mean? You get what I mean? Okay, so Haru, verse 2. What are we saying? What are we saying? The energy between Mira and Mira, what? You know what? What? Yeah. What does that mean? The energy between Mira and Mira. So when you have 2 mirrors in front of each other, and I'm thinking of my grandparents' house because they had 2 mirrors in their bathroom on each side. And when you walk in, it's like infinite reflection of yourself going both ways. So maybe they're saying the energy is infinite, right? This energy that we have is infinite. It's eternity. It doesn't really run out. A perfect symmetry that holds infinity. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm right on that point. Try stepping in. Can you mirror me? Come close. No more doubt. No more fear. Girl, we're flirting a little bit, not sexually or sensually, but we're flirting with the idea of, I'm gonna test you to see if I can really trust you. So, you know, come in here, ride with me, right? Don't be fearful. They're essentially testing whether they can trust this person, right? Because if you have your back to someone, they can stab you in the back. And if you've been stabbed in the back, you know that it hurts like fucking hell. So he's saying, right, I need to find people that I can trust. So can you come in here to this mirror, this endless energy, and work with me? Just the right one. Take a ride with me. I'll let you see what you always wanted. Round and round into eternity, eye to eye, baby. Don't you see? See, it's flirtatious, but I don't think it's necessarily like a romantic flirtation. I think it's like trying to gauge who can I trust with this truth or with this thing that I'm struggling with, and should you be the one, right? And there's right one, just one right one, right? Amongst all the other wrong ones. The eye to eye, baby, like what I'm thinking of, right? You have those 4 people and you have the mirrors and you get to see their eyes and make eyes from the back. That's such a like intimate imagery in my head of like being able to have someone's back while simultaneously being able to look at their eyes. Like it's almost like you see fully and wholly this person. I love the imagery that I'm building inside of my head, and I don't know if I'm able to convey it properly to you guys, but just know that in my head it makes sense. Okay, so the bridge is gravity deep in our bones or backs. We all stand. Gravity pulls you down, so they're saying that they're grounded. They're not moving. They're persistent in that fundamental ground and stand that they have. We're still standing on top of the line that we made. And sorry, I translate English as well through my things because that's just easier. So sometimes it translates the English one. So I'm reading from the left here. We're still on the top of the line that we made, right? So they made the line. They made the conditions for success, and they're still on top of it, right? Hey, watch closely. This is one of a kind. We all align. Yeah, we always redefine. Let's move, no loose ends. So are we talking here about the line? I think we're talking about the line, right? So they're saying, right, like, okay, we're on top of the line, but the line keeps moving. It keeps going up, but we're gonna move with it, right? We're staying tight. We're staying grounded. We have gravity on our side. We're not gonna move except upward as we move along those boundaries for success or accomplishment. Follow our lead. Can you feel it? Let's go take it. They're talking to us, right? They're saying we have this foundation. We protect each other. And I'm thinking it's community, right? If you can feel that, if you want to be a part of our community, then come in, right? And I like that it's equal, right? You don't get your back protected while you don't protect another one's back. Everyone participates equally or equitably as much as you can. And that's the gain, and that's the benefit, and that's what makes it one of a kind, right? It's not something you can find anywhere but here. So I'm just gonna listen to it again. I think I was very clear. This is my favorite song. Like, there's absolutely no way. The composer is called Bad Milk. Okay. Okay. Well, you're a delicious. Sean, fuck me up. Yeah, shake. Y'all, I was telling you all that I went to the ER just like 6 hours ago. And then they do this. I'm literally on my knees. I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees. My chair is here. I'm on my knees. That's how much I love this song. I can't be on my knees, y'all. I'm too old for that. But if I was 10 years younger, I'd be on my knees dancing to this song. Not doing other things. Dirty freaks. Come with me now. We hold the ground. And I love the way he drags it out. Take you back to back. I will say, why are they making such an empowering, foundational song so goddamn sexy? So goddamn sexy. They sound so sexy. And it's a good way. They sound raspy. Okay, Haru. Yo. Yo. Back to back. I can't stop dancing. Redefined. Hallelujah. Preach. never in my life did I think they would make a song that would beat One and Only. Because One and Only is that fucking song. This song is that fucking song. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful. Fuck this, it's so good. I am so tired, y'all, but I'm also really excited. This is Hips by Hyun&Haru. I mean, there is high expectations so far. High expectations. It's weird now because if you saw my reaction to Serve, I loved it. I loved it. But it's on the bottom of my list at the moment because Back to Back and Extancy are so goddamn good. So I have high expectations for Hips, okay? And Hips should have a little bit of shaking ass. A little bit, at least.
Shake it like my L5, energy leaving to 5. We align with the bomb. You can see on to the on fire. This XX5 with the Yannick review. How to Pikachu. How turn it up, move it through. Top, star, I like that. Throw it in the air, trophy bounce back, yeah.
I need performance videos or anything on these songs. Is there anything for me? Because I like this one, Back to Back, and Extancy. I need to see some videos. 하나 둘 셋, 1, 2, 3. I love the way they say dangerous. I will say I cannot move my hips. I know I look like someone that can move my hips, but I can't. I can't. You will make it too hard, girl. Are we stripping? Is there no outro? It is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This should have had a bridge. It should have had a bridge. It got a little repetitive at the end, but I need to read the lyrics before I feel it. I think it was just the other two songs, like, up here. And this one, it didn't quite get to me at first, but it's so confident. I wanted a bridge where we were just shaking our asses. Sorry, when we're just shaking our hips. And I get that that's what they're doing with repeating the chorus, but there could have been adding, like, I think each bridge so far from this album has added this sort of, like, release, right? Of, like, becoming something. Or in the case of Back to Back, inviting us to something. And I wanted that from this one as well. But maybe we'll see the lyrics and I actually just missed it. So let's read the first verse. It's by Hyun. Shake it like my air flight. Okay. So shake is like there's no gravity, right? Air flight, I'm thinking constantly, effortlessly, like out-of-body experience movement. Energy alive in 25-25. I mean, we're in 26, girl. But, right, living in the present. This is not about the future. This is not about the past. This is like, we're in this moment. It's dated. This is where it's gonna take place. We alive every day, every night. You can see us on fire anytime. So maybe they're seeing this is not an act that we put on when we're on stage in the spotlight. Girl, this is us every day, 24/7. Every day we're shaking it. And shaking it, I think, is just like being free. Enjoying yourself, being free, allowing yourself this effortless movement of not worrying about how you're being perceived, right? XX vibe through Hyun's camera view. So Hyun이, I believe, is Hyun. Maybe it's like a nickname of his. XX vibe, I don't know what that means. I know XX means hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. Shout out to Jisoo. So maybe this is like a personification of how Hyun is in the lens that he controls. And then the next line, right? Haru Pikachu Pika is assigning a personification to Haru. And Pikachu, let me tell you, I love me some Pokemon. I have been playing Pokopia every single day since it came out. But Pikachu is bright, beloved, cute. You know, a little, what's the word? A little, but you know, you can't help but be cute. Like, that's the personification that each of these members are getting. Drop it, turn it all, trampling and moving through. Same thing as the beginning, right? Regardless of what's happening, any bums in the roads, we keep shaking our asses. And I want to preface this, like, this is very different from the other songs, but I'm also again thinking about the concept of the chess piece, right? And maybe at this point we've turned into the queen. We went through the foundation, we have our back protected, we have evolved and being birthed through Extancy. I need to learn how to pronounce that word. And now we're ourselves. We're confident and we are washed, right? Washed in white. We're started over. We're newborn. We're confident. We're fierce. So it is gonna have less of a maybe like philosophical aspect to it and more just being about let's party and shake our ass. So sure, the other songs are going to be deeper than this one. But if you know that shaking your ass can be deep, then you get this song. You get what I mean? Okay, so Haru comes in and says, top star. I like that. Why do I feel like we're in a shopping center and he's going like, top, no, I don't want to be called that. Top, I don't want to be top star. I like the sound of that. Like, I'm on the top, but I'm a star. Like, that's kind of like the visual imagery that I'm getting. Throw it in the air. Trophy. Bounce back. Yeah, bounce back. So I don't think we're talking about throwing our ass in the air. I think we're talking about throwing the trophy in the air, and it bounces back almost like a boomerang, right? To me, this signifies confidence, right? I can throw you my accolades, my accomplishments to you. I can give you a chance to outperform me, outdo me, but I know it's gonna come back. I know you can't beat me. I know, like, you can try. I won't stop. Like, it's that self-confidence that it ain't gonna happen. That trophy's always gonna come back to me. And it might also be his ass. It's just that big. But I think, you know, it's leaning towards the other part. Hot. And now we're gonna do the same thing, right? So hot spot. I like that. And what's a hot spot? Right? It's where the connection happens. I'm like thinking of, right, like a phone, right? It has a hotspot, but also a hotspot is where the biggest connection happened, and they are that. They're the top star, but they are also the ones bringing the connections, and they acknowledge that, right? It's like, I like that. I like being that. We're so dangerous. We're so dangerous. Okay, girls. So we are bouncing our asses. We're shaking. We're throwing trophies. We're being hella confident, but we're also kind of fearsome. Okay, so the chorus is dance like this, move your hips like this, ay, Dance like this, move your hips like this. Ay. Dance like this, groove your hips like this. Ay. Slay, snack, wait, dance with us. I like it, right? They're inviting us. They're saying, come. This is not some exclusive club that you can never reach. Dance exactly like we do, and they're showing us how to dance. They're showing us how to move our hips. And sure, moving your hips is sexy. It's hot, it's sensual, but it's also free, right? Like a lot of the movement, a lot of movements come from the hips. Like it's sort of the foundational place where the freedom of mobility comes in, right? You hurt your hips, mobility becomes really hard. So sure, it has that sexuality to it, but I also think there is that deeper connotation of set yourself free. And we're gonna show you how to do this exactly the way that we do it. So come join us. It's not exclusive. Okay, so now it's Haru's verse. Gather around here. Ha! Headphones, cool music. And I believe some of this is in Japanese, at least the word cool. And if I remember correctly, let me know if I'm wrong, but Haru is Japanese. So I love that there's this like trilinguality involved into. And Hyun was talking about his life, so I'm assuming this verse is going to be about Haru singing about his life. So I think that's a nice touch to it. Right, gather around here, right? It's the same as the chorus, right? Like, come, I'm gonna tell you guys something. Like, let's gather around, let's put our hands up, right? And then privately with the headphones, right? Like, he's saying, I'm gonna share this with you intimately. This cool music, whatever cool music. And I'm wondering if cool is really the right word. Another word that I was able to translate is like stylistic, but obviously the translation is lost. I'm sure in Japanese there's a very specific word to describe the type of music or the type of philosophy that he's sharing with us. Living the God tier life like a movie. 1, 2, 3, 2 P's. Ha ha. Okay, and again, I think he's also counting in Korean and Japanese. Pokemon Go, gotta find them. Master Ball made of diamonds. I mean, we know what Pokemon Go is, right? You go out, you have your app, you go out to the real world, and you find Pokemons and you catch them. I've never done it, but I know it. And gotta find them, gonna catch them all. It's from the theme song. So he's kind of playing on this Pikachu-esque vibe that he was assigned from Hyun. Master Ball, let me educate y'all. If you don't know what Pokemon is, the Master Ball is the best Pokeball to ever get. It essentially, when you throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon, there is a catch rate. So let's say for simplicity, a normal Pokeball might have a 25% catch rate. So every 4 turns or so you would catch. The Master Ball is 100% catch rate. So he is saying, right, I make diamonds. I collect diamonds at 100% success rate. Like he is claiming that confidence. He has more sparkles than Pikachu Sparkle. And Pikachu is known for its electricity, its sparkle. So he's saying this, and he was personified into Pikachu, right? So Pikachu is his partner. He's saying, well, I shine more than Pikachu. I have this bigger shine. It shimmers, it shines, it electrifies, it glorifies. Shining bright, my hip-hop life, yeah. And I guess he assigns that brightness to his hip-hop life, whatever that means. Like the style that he's living, the cultural context. I'm not sure. I think there's some personal revelations here that I might not be familiar with in the context of Haru. So let's listen to it again. This is a feel-good song, right? This is a feel-good song. Hyun and Haru kind of not shows off, but they kind of tells us who they are. Who they are and how great they are. And then they shake their ass and move a little bit. So
Shake it like my L5, energy leave into 5. We alive with an bomb. You can see on on fire.
oh,
XX5 with the Hyun review. How to Pikachu.
Haru Pikachu. That Haru Pikachu sounds so good. He sounds so smooth, so like whispery, so like, hey, come here, let me talk to you. Like, oh, it sounds groovy.
XX5 with the Hyun review. How to Pikachu.
Pika.
Top star, I like that. Throw it in the air, trophy bounce back, yeah. Hot spot, I like that. We're so dangerous, we're so dangerous.
Oh, he sounds so.
This. Move your hips like this, ayy. Dance like this. Move your hips like this, ayy. Dance like
So before we go into it, I think I would appreciate and will appreciate this song when I get like a visual attachment to it. Like I think seeing a dance performance or a performance video of this song will like instantaneously enhance the experience of me, because we need to see people dance to truly enjoy this song. Do you know what I mean? Okay, Haru. Okay, my trilingual prince. Dear queen girl. They're both queens. So something that I spoke about when we listened to the song the first time, and I'm kind of still wishing, right? So each of the two verses kind of gives us an insight into Hyun and Haru. I kind of wanted the bridge to then expand on that, right? Maybe looking at them together, maybe looking at an invite into us, like going further with this movement of the hip. I think like the song could actually have that. I think, and I'm still standing by that. I think after listening to it again. Okay, you know what? I missed this part. Oh, I guess that's the bridge. This is going on my workout playlist, I'm quite sure. It's going to the bottom of my playlist. Sorry, of the ranking of this album. Does not mean that it's a good song, but the other three songs are just God tier, okay? And I will say, and this is something that I want to make clear, is that music is subjective. And I think that there is a very core group of a community that would love a song like Hips. I don't particularly fall in that category. I'm a homebody. I do like to dance, but I like to dance with a glass of wine in my living room. I don't necessarily like to go out in the clubs and party. The Hip song would be great for that. Right? It'd be great for running. It'd be great for like a workout thing. So me saying it's going at the bottom of my list, I don't want you to think about it and interpret it as like, oh my God, he's hating on the song and go and defend the song, right? Because at the end of the day, music is subjective and we all enjoy different songs. And I 100% think Hips is a good song. And I do believe that a lot of people is going to find that song their favorite. It just is not mine. Got it? We're on the same page, okay? Kindness. So you can give your interpretation and your comments and observations about how you like the songs. They might differ than mine, and that's totally fine. That's how the world kind of works. Okay? Thank you. So I'm not going to tell you guys how long we've been recording for, but we are at the last song. Thank God, I guess, that it is not a full album, although I would have loved a full album, but those take me hours to record. I mean, to be fair, this is taking me hours to record. But the last song is called A Masterpiece. I'm wondering if the piece is going to be the chess piece. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like the chess transforming into the queen. Is it going to be sad? No? Okay. Oh yes, queen. Oh. Wait, it's making me feel kind of happy. Ooh. Okay.
Every crack was drawing lines. 이미 알고 있던 signs. All the crushes in disguise. Pulling right between my eyes.
Oh. Wait, what is this giving disco? It's kind of giving groovy. Like, I'm kind of imagining we're on a roller skating field and we're like, woo-hoo-hoo, woo-hoo-hoo. Wait, I'm loving this. Okay. I love every crack is showing light. Who's that? You know, it makes you want to shiver your shoulders. You get me? No, shut up. Shut up. It's over. XLOV, if there's one feedback I want to give to y'all and your queens, I love y'all. Longer songs. This song should have been 15 minutes. And you could have just done the the whole time. I've been fine. Been fine. Oh my god, this one's so good. This one's so good. Why is that the least streamed song on the album? Tell me. Are you not liking this song? There's no fucking way. So let's start here. Also, it says back to back, but it's masterpiece. But I've been recording for so long, so bear with me. But Rui says pieces dancing on the floor, even the patterns I can't read. Every move and every mark left a question of where we stand. Okay, so I want to go line by line because I'm not fully picking up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to do my best. But pieces dancing on the floor, even the patterns I can't read. Again, I need to take this from a queer lens because I think that's just relatable to me, but I also think that's just brings in the context of it. And if we go back to some of my earlier explanations of it, what I'm thinking of when I read pieces dancing on the floor, even the patterns I can't read, right? Like the queerness that existed within me before I fully come to terms with it existed before that, right? So what Rui is saying is like, I was myself, pieces of it, you know, moving forward, dancing on the floor, right? And we know that dancing on the floor from hips means to be free, to move forward, to progress. And they're kind of saying that I have those questions. Like I'm reading every move and every mark left a question of where we stand. Like I think what they're saying, right, is like they, when they were younger, had questions about the world. And when they ended up getting more questions rather than answers, probably because the world that they were asking for the answers did not have the answers that they were looking for. Maybe the framework that you needed in order to understand yourself wasn't there. I'm also thinking of the context of climate change, right? Where one of my favorite books is by an author who sadly passed away, but it's called Unbowed. It's by Wangari Maathai. If you don't know her, she's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. And she wrote a book about environmentalism in Kenya. And one of the things she talks about is that a lot of white Europeans would come to Kenya and say, oh, you don't know how to plant a tree. No, it's very difficult. You need to have a degree, you have a science background. And she would say, no, you just need to water the tree. And they would be like, well, you need the soil composition. You need to understand the soil composition. She's like, no, I don't need to understand the soil composition. And it brings a lot of climate change. And this might not be a topic that you find interesting, but I love talking about environmentalism and climate change. I don't do it often on this channel, but the idea of sustainability, the word might have come to existence in the 1950s and 1970s, but people were already talking about sustainability way before the word was coined, right? And Rui is saying the same thing. My queerness or myself existed in these fragmented pieces that I didn't understand back then. And, you know, I didn't have the framework to really make sense of it back then, but I still was moving on. So it's kind of retroactively looking at it. That's like how I'm looking at it. Then Wumuti says, footsteps linger through the hall, each step so graceful. Those shining eyes I see were finding their way back to me. Oh, yeah. Like the line that sticks out to me the most is like the each step so graceful, footsteps linger through the hall. Because I think like the image in my head is a little kid who on the outside is graceful, right? Graceful is demure, calm, put together. No one really knows that anything is wrong. But on the interior, they're confused, probably exhausted, scared, anxious, feeling all of these overwhelming emotions. I think a lot of people can relate to that, not just queer people, a lot of people, but especially queer people. And I think that's like, it's like what's hitting a little bit more personally, I think. And then those shining eyes I see was connecting back to me. And I like it because, right, like throughout this whole verse, we're talking about we're fragmented pieces who are trying to move forward into the world and grow and change. But the were finding there or was connecting back to me means that the answers to the questions lay in the past. It lays a fully acknowledging and accepting who you are, and it goes back to expancy, right? Of like that, like washed in white, right? Like you've really truly dealt with the pain, the blood, the suffering, and you've come to terms and accepted that. And the shining eyes, I don't know whose eyes it is, but I think it's the hope. Like maybe I'm like thinking of seeing a queer person on the TV for the first time and being like, "Oh my god, like there is a reality in this world where I can be happy, where I can find people that accept me." Like that, like that connection maybe. And they're realizing that I'm all these fragmented pieces, but the solution was actually to be myself all along. And I've been searching for these answers of how I can change and how I can be different. But the truth lays in how those pieces were originally put together. So the pre-chorus is every crack was tracing lines. And I love that sentence. Every crack was tracing lines, right? And I'm thinking of someone who was like morphed into or trying to morph into something, right? And stay in that position because they were scared, right? I'm going to conform to how other people want me to be because that's how I'm expected to be. But over time, they were cracking, right? Cracking could be hurting, losing, not succeeding in becoming who you don't want to be, but who you're expected to be, right? Because you can never be that person for a long time without suffering internally. And these cracks are kind of seen as bad things, right? A crack, right? Think of a crack in a vase, right? But he's kind of saying the cracks were actually drawing the full picture of who I am. And the moment that these cracks flew open, I was able to morph into who I truly was. Signs I already knew. Girl, from the perspective of a queer person, right? When I first told myself that I was gay, I had known it for a long time. But it wasn't like I didn't have the framework and the language to truly like communicate that to myself until much earlier. But you know, I had the signs and all the feelings hidden in plain sight. Yo, I was gushing over this guy in middle school for so long. He wasn't even a good person. He was just cute and he played football. And like it was everyone could see it. Well, not everyone because no one knew, but you know, it's like looking back at it just like I wasn't really high, like it's not, you know, that I was being super hidden from it. Um Pointing straight between my eyes. Else, I'm gonna be sad. So the chorus is I was the missing piece falling into place. I love this. And let's start by talking about the chessboard. And then we can talk maybe a little bit about the queer thematics as well as queer themes as well. But like, you are that piece on the chessboard, right? And it is the weakest piece on the chessboard. They are very insignificant. There's an abundance of them. They're not really unique. But when they transform at the end, right, they can become the queen, which the queen is the most powerful. Don't argue with me. It's the most powerful position role in chess. And I like that they're saying in the first verse, they were saying, right, all these pieces are dancing, and I'm trying to figure out where I fit in. But it turns out I wasn't trying to fit in. I was the thing that needed to be there in order for it to work. Like they were the central integral piece of the puzzle or the chessboard to make sense. And it all just fell into place. Into the unfinished work, one last detail. I was the final touch color in the dark. And I love color in the dark, right? Because that means that they never changed, right? Red in the dark is the same red as in the light. The difference is you can just see it in the light. So they're not saying that they morphed into something else. They're just saying that they finally were able to understand and light up the colors that they had on the inside. Piece by piece now. Yeah, I'm the masterpiece. It it's kind of saying, right, like all of these things had to happen in order for me to understand the value that I have today, right? And I forget which song it is. I think it was Extancy that said, right, I know my value, I know my worth, I know my world. Like they know their worth, they know their value because they've had to go through this fragmentation and then being put back together. I love the word masterpiece. And I can't quite put my head as to why I like it, but I think oftentimes you see queerness as like not necessarily the subject or the central part of something. Think about a lot of shows that include a queer side character who, you know, is not really nuanced beyond, you know, finding a boyfriend or something like that, right? They're always sort of, you know, characterized by the art in like a not a central part. I also just feel like queerness has been very like, and I don't know if this is the right word, like pathologized, 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 like looked in a weird way, looked upon in a weird way, kind of like a disease, right? Like it's a disease. Here, it's the masterpiece. It's the central part of the art. It is the most important piece. And that is just such a different narrative than what we're used to looking at it from a queer lens. And I love that. I'm sorry. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Haru says here, see the moment, flashlight, now it all comes clear. The scattered puzzle pieces come together. Now the spotlight's on me. We know, girl, we know. Hey, going on, give me even more. Every step, just let me hear. The light that shines upon me turned into the masterpiece. I don't think this necessarily says anything more. I think it just redefines the whole album. Not redefines, it like centralizes the themes of the whole albums as well as the first verse and really like puts a spotlight on what the purpose of this album is. Baby, I'm the masterpiece, masterpiece. Yes, you are. Period. Let's listen to this masterpiece again, shall we? And I love, sorry, I don't even mean to stop before this story. I just love also that this queer art is not sad at all. It's dope and boppy as fuck. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Sometimes I do a lot of reactions to BLs, and I've been watching queer shows for 15 years at this point. I hate when they have a sad ending, and everyone's like, well, it's realistic. Girl, I don't want realistic. If I wanted realism, I'll just look at my fucking own life. I want happiness. I want cuteness. I want... Ugh. So I love this positivity, empowerment.
Every crack was drawing lines. 이미 알고 있던 signs. All the crushes in disguise. Pulling right between my eyes. Every step just let me hear. 나를 비춰 어느 빛이 Turn it to the masterpiece. Every crack was drawing lies. 이미 알고 있던 signs. All the crushes and disguise. Pulling right between my eyes. I was there, missing piece, dropping into place. Every broken life was facing me.
I'm on the edge of crying, and I don't want to cry. Y'all, and I'm not on the edge of crying because the song is sad. I'm getting a little emotional because queer joy is so scarce. And I'm thinking of all the people who don't get the privilege to feel that. And to have 4 human beings, beautiful, gorgeous, angel human beings, being so out there, being themselves, being who they are, whatever they are, it's just very beautiful. It's very empowering. It's very reassuring that things can change and will change. And it gives me hope. And nothing is stronger than hope. And it's something that I think you lose a little bit as you get older. I think you just become a little bit less hopeful. I think you just kind of realize that the world is a fucked up place. And to see 4 brave people commit to this authentic journey together, having each other's backs, moving forward with grace despite this sort of interior struggle, interior both being within themselves but also probably behind the scenes, is admirable, just inspirational. And this song reminds me a lot about Loud from NMIX. And if you haven't checked out Loud, I think you should really check it out. I think it has queer undertones and explicitly. And the song is about being loved loud. And that is unfortunately in a lot of queer people's experience not an opportunity. And I am very vocal on my channel that I need to be loved loud because I love loud. I love my boyfriend. I love him loudly and proudly. And I tell him, if you don't do the same, we're not compatible. And he does. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege and it's a choice because you do it despite of the consequences that come with it. But it just feels so good. So good seeing 4 people just embrace queerness, femininity, masculinity in such a fluid and liquid way. It just makes me feel happy for them. So that was my reaction to the album. It took a little while. I do apologize. I have been filming for over 3 hours, so the editing is going to be painful, but I genuinely think this is one of my favorite albums of the year. And it's one of my most immersed albums of a really long time. And I think it stems from just connecting to the group, the songs, their narratives, their journey. And the songs are boppy as fuck. Like, you can't argue with that. So I'm just really happy. I'm tired, but I'm really happy. I really enjoyed it. Which song do you claim? I like all of them, but Back to Back is still my favorite. It is so goddamn good. And I am going to be listening to it on repeat until I get tired of it and it's overplayed, just like One and Only, because that song I played like 200 times in like a week. It was bad. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Do let me know if there's any performance videos or anything I can check out. I would love to check out more from XLOV. I would love to support them in any way that I can, even if it means purchasing their albums, because I'll purchase this if it's available in the United States. So let me know. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.